So Marvel Rivals is pretty cool, and what's even cooler is that new characters are still getting added to the game through updates. And everybody loves to speculate about what the new characters might be in the future, but there's a handful of characters that I think are pretty unlikely to be added to the game. And today I'd like to go over my top 10 characters who I think will not be added to Marvel Rivals. Number 10. Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of Marvel's most beloved and well-known characters, so it would make perfect sense for him to be included in Marvel Rivals. In fact, it makes so much sense that they already included him in the game, and it would be pretty weird for them to add him again. Number 9. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, the famous High Renaissance era Ninja Turtle, dates all the way back to the year 16 when the first TMNT comics were released. Ever since then, he's been captivating the hearts and minds of kids who think ninjas and turtles are both cool. He's so famous that Da Vinci was even named after him from Little Big Planet 2. The reason I don't think Leonardo will be added to Marvel Rivals is because he would be too overpowered. Like, come on, Master Splinter trained him for years. Spider-Man didn't even get that sort of training. Number 8. Tupper. Tupper would make a really cool addition to Marvel Rivals. There's a lot of potential for verticality with those wings he has. He could be chill but assertive if you were cheating, and he could even read you the patch notes like he did for VR chat as long as they don't also add Straz into the game. As head of community for VR chat, I also think this would attract a lot of new players to the game, since currently there's not a lot of overlap between people who like VR chat and people who like hero shooters. Unfortunately, it's precisely because Tupper is head of community for VR chat that I don't think he'll be added to Marvel Rivals. He's already so busy with the game that he doesn't even make the video patch notes anymore and instead gets Straz to do it, so I really doubt that he'd even have the time to appear in another game. Number 7. Truman Burbank. Truman Burbank is the main character of The Truman Show, which is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. The movie is part social commentary, part psychological drama, part concept film, part comedy, and just all around amazing. The movie is so good that I feel like I have a new experience every time I watch it, and even the random bits of supplementary material floating around on the internet are cool to watch. The problem is that I think there's a good chance Eggman from Sonic the Hedgehog will be added to Rivals, and Jim Carrey portrays both Dr. Eggman and Truman Burbank. Players would probably be confused by how similar the two characters look, so he just wouldn't be a very good fit for the game. Number 6. Broadcom BCM 94352Z. The Broadcom BCM 94352Z is a mini PCIe Wi-Fi card for laptops. It's not particularly notable in many ways, but it is noteworthy that back in the 2010s, the Broadcom BCM 94352Z was one of the most accessible mini PCIe Wi-Fi cards that was fully supported by the Mac operating system. People who liked to make Hackintosh laptops would often use this particular card in their laptops to ensure good Wi-Fi capability. Nowadays, however, the card is losing its relevance as Apple slowly drops support for their Intel-based computers and Hackintosh fades further into obscurity. So I don't think adding it to Marvel Rivals would draw in many new or returning players. Number 5. Batman. Batman is probably one of my favorite superheroes of all time. The Dark Knight trilogy is absolutely amazing, and the premise of the character in general is really cool too. He's like a more shadowy, brooding version of Iron Man, where instead of having superpowers, he just has a lot of skill and a lot of money. He would probably be great from a gameplay perspective too. Just like how Spider-Man seems to borrow some of his moveset from the hit video game Spider-Man, Batman could have some of his moves from the Arkham series of games. Sadly, Batman probably won't be added to Marvel Rivals because he is not a Marvel character. Number 4. Plumper the Banana Pal. I have no clue who Plumper the Banana Pal is or if a character with that name even exists. I couldn't even find a picture to use for this section, so it stands to reason that they won't be added to Marvel Rivals. Number 3. 193484726384927464892848284621651829 null. 1934847263849274648928482621651651829 null is not only a legless fish, so mobility would be an issue, but he's also more likely to commit tax fraud than the developers would probably be comfortable with. Number 2. Sans. Sans, the beloved zombie from Sebastian Wolf's hit game One Shot, has been a fan favorite ever since he appeared in Season 4, Episode 19 of Seinfeld, The Implant. The way he offers helpful advice about how to solve puzzles in the game, and even gives you free healing potions, made him an instant hit with gamers. He's pretty overpowered in the End of Cave story though, so I doubt they'd be able to add him to Marvel Rivals without ruining the game balance. Number 1. Citric Dolphin. The famous YouTuber who makes videos about Super Mario Strikers and the Citrus launcher for online play, Citric Dolphin would make a really cool addition to the Marvel Rivals cast. Unfortunately, after the lead developer of Marvel Rivals, Neil deGrasse Tyson, was asked on Blue Sky about whether he'd ever consider adding Citric Dolphin to the game, he responded with, "Unfortunately, we tried that, but Citric's raw power was just too much for us to contain inside the game, and we had to cancel the addition for our development team's safety." Sadly, it seems like we may never get to see the long-awaited Citric Dolphin character in Marvel Rivals. So there you go. Do you have a certain character who you expect won't get added to Marvel Rivals? Leave it in the comment section on another video, and I'll see you next time.